I think that most people, when they go horse shopping, are looking for all the wrong things. And I'm going to tell you today what it is that I look for when taking my clients to look for horses or when I'm looking for them for myself. Hi, I'm Ruby. I'm a whole horse stewardship trainer, and I've helped horses and humans have a deeper bond and better relationship for over 10 years. And I'm bringing you all of my wisdom and knowledge about horse-human relationships and about holistic horsemanship practices here on this YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about the very beginning of that process, which is finding the perfect horse. I see very well-meaning people make their list of things that they want in their perfect horse. And it's a lot of things about how they look and how they perform and their accolades. And all of these things are fantastic places to start, but it leaves out some really important things. And so I'm going to be going over a lot of that here. The first thing that's important to know is I like to think a lot about looking for a horse a bit like dating. You're looking for a long-term relationship, hopefully, in the best of cases. And you're going out into this sea of potential suitors, being other horses, that you are checking in to see if that might be a horse that will work for you and for your goals and will align with what it is that you are wanting to do with your horse career. And in a lot of cases, you might need to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. So you might have to be looking for a horse for a while. And I think one big mistake that I see is people going and buying the first horse that they see or falling in love with a horse off of an ad. It's really, really important to go with a skilled trainer who has your back and knows what you're looking for and knows what your goals are and knows what kind of rider you are. Or if you don't have a trainer, even just taking a good friend with you that can be honest with you is really, really important to bring you back to earth, because it's really easy to fall in love. And a lot of these people are really good at selling, and they're going to tell you all of the bright and shiny things and the good things about this horse. But it's really important that you have somebody with you that's skilled enough to say, this is a great horse, but it's not great for you. So a really great example of this is just yesterday, I went and took one of my clients to look at horses, and we went in with the intention of seeing one horse, but we knew the seller had multiple horses for sale. And so we had said, we'd be open to seeing other horses. This is a person who mostly wants to do light riding and trail work and maybe occasional like casual sorting or cow events, but nothing super competitive. She's not super ambitious about wanting to like go win or go fast or compete hard or anything. She really just wants to enjoy her horse as a pleasure and like de-stressing activity from her very stressful life that she lives. And so this felt really important that we were looking for the type of horse that was going to give her those specific like qualities. And even though she's a skilled rider and probably could ride a horse that is maybe a little bit more challenging, we were not looking for a horse that was going to give her a hard time about anything. We're specifically looking for a horse that feels like a break from her life. And so we went to look, and of course he immediately pulls out like this really flashy horse and this really flashy horse, and they look really lovely and beautiful and so fun. And we were very discerning, and we were just like, we stayed very true to our goal of looking for this particular type of horse. But it's really easy when you get there to be like, oh, but look at that one. And like, maybe that would be a fun horse for me. Or another example is I have clients all the time send me ads and be like, look at this amazing horse. I'm like, yes, that is an amazing horse, but that is not at all the type of horse that you're looking for. And it's so easy to get pulled into these like flashy ads or flashy horses. So be really wary of that. The other thing to look for is to kind of learn to read between the lines of what the sellers are telling you. A lot of times, I don't think it comes from a bad place, but I think a lot of times sellers maybe just don't know as much as they think they do. I've had a lot of situations where I've gone and the horse is just simply not sound, or they're clearly unhealthy in one way or another, and the seller just actually has no idea. And so we want to make sure that we're bringing somebody that has an eye for soundness and health in horses when we're looking. So those are maybe the kind of more obvious things that we're going to be looking for. Obviously, things like budget and price point and all of those things. But the biggest thing when you're looking for a partner is you need to know that you want the same things in life. So another really, really big mistake that I see is people will say, look at this horse. What if I could just train them to be like this? And of course, we all know people that date like that too, right? Like, look at this person and all the potential they have. But no one wants to be dated because they have potential. They want to be dated because you love them and see them for who they are, and you're attracted to who they already are in this world, right? And yes, there are people like trainers and horse flippers who have the ability to see a horse and say, you're in the wrong career, let me help you and bring you over here. I've done that. I had one time, the funniest one that I love to talk about is I had a horse named Truman. He was a 17 2.5 thoroughbred who was bred for jumpers, steeplechase specifically. And he was being ridden as a rein cow horse. And they use this horse for cow herding. And I was like, or not even herding, like cattle drives. And I was like, this is a classic example of a horse in the wrong career. And I slapped a dressage saddle on him and started him over some flat work, and he thrived. And unfortunately, he ended up with some degenerative health conditions that meant that he couldn't be rehomed. But my whole goal was to be like, oh, I see that you're struggling in this career that your body and brain is not meant for. So let me help you move over here. But the vast majority of times, horses like their careers and they don't want to change. And so a lot of times I see people like, look at this really cool horse. What if I could just teach him to be a trail horse? Or look at this really cool horse. He's great on the trail. What if I could just teach him to go into like ranch versatility? I'm like, that's great, but why don't we go take that same money you're going to spend on this super cool horse and go find you a super cool horse that already loves range versatility? It does take a little bit longer and it can be a little bit more of an arduous process, but I think it's really important to think about the horse's goals, because a lot of times what happens when you find a horse that doesn't want the same things that you do, it maybe is nice for a little while and it's kind of fun, but then eventually one of you is going to get tired or bored or frustrated because you're just doing things that are different than your goals. And so it's really, really important that you find a horse that has the same goals that you have and has a propensity for the same things that you do, so that you can actually take each other to down the road that you both want to go down. You're both going the same way anyway. Let's go together and go, what is the thing? If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone. We're going far together. We're going to work together toward this ultimate goal that we both have. The other thing that I think is so commonly overlooked is personality. So I'm going to go back to this horse that we went to see yesterday. There's another horse that was another top contender that we were going to take a look at. We didn't even end up getting them out because the first horse was such a slam dunk. So the first horse we were going to get out is what I would consider to be, I don't know her well enough yet to know exactly, but maybe a feeler, maybe an achiever. I'm leaning toward achiever, which means she's very sensitive, but she's also very confident. So I think, yeah, let's go achiever. She's very confident. She's not worried. She's not going to like take on, your nervousness or whatever. Like she's got her own backbone, but she's very, very sensitive. She needs very, very little motivation to go do a task. She already has that inherently in her. This other horse we were going to go look at is also very safe. It's also very pleasurable to ride. Checks all the boxes for my client's wish list, but is a bit more of a kick ride and is a bit more stubborn, is what I would consider to be a cruiser. And I happen to know that this person does not do well with cruisers, because cruisers need somebody to say, we're going here and we're doing this and that's final, and to give them the motivation, because cruisers don't have that motivation inherently in themselves and they get their motivation from their rider. And this person doesn't want that responsibility. She doesn't want to give the horse the motivation. She wants the horse to already have the motivation. She doesn't want to have to talk the horse into doing things. And so I immediately knew that the first horse we were going to look at, that's more of the achiever type, was going to be a better fit for her than the cruiser type, because I know when I've paired her with cruisers in the past, it hasn't gone very well. And so I think that is also a really important thing to know. And so I actually have a quiz that I've developed about this with the 4 different personality types. You can take it below. It's totally free, but it'll help you to maybe narrow down which types are more appealing to you. It's written as if you already have a horse, but maybe you could think about your dream horse and go through the scenarios, and it'll tell you which type maybe you're the most compatible with. This is so important, and it's just so often overlooked. And it's often, I think, why people get horses that look great on paper and then they just don't like that horse. Like my horse Olive, who's usually in my videos with me, I adore her and I love everything about her personality. But I have a couple of people that I work with and that are my clients that cannot stand her personality. And I don't take it personally. She's not their horse. They don't have to like her personality. I like it, and that's all that really matters. I don't like a super dull, dead, boring horse. I don't think that's enjoyable to ride. I want a horse that's in conversation with me. But I also know a lot of people that really want that. They want the reliability and the consistency, and they want every day to look the same. And I think that's wonderful. Let's go find you a horse like that. So it's really important to be taking that personality piece into account when you're looking at horses. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have the best of luck in looking for a horse. If you want more information about horse shopping in general and your new horse and your first horse and all of that, I have a whole entire playlist dedicated just to that. And I will link it here, one of these corners, I don't know. And until next time, make sure to hug your horse for me.